On this week's episode of What's Up Weekly, riders are gearing up for this year's Little 500 competition. We'll tell you who came out on top at this week's qualifications round.
And Devour B-Town brings local and some new dining deals. What's Up Weekly starts now. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of What's Up Weekly. I'm Laura Puglisi.
And I'm Alex Eady.
Well, we hope everyone had a relaxing, safe, and hopefully sunny spring break. Alex, how was yours? Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so my break was good. I went to Los Angeles and it was my first time there, which was fun. So yeah, what did you do?
I had a busy one. I started out in the Bahamas. I went to Paradise Island in the Bahamas, which was great. And then I spent the last few days of the break actually in Florida.
Nice.
I was really sad to, say goodbye to the sun, coming back to the freezing cold here, but excited to be back for, our final months of college.
I know, don't make me emotional now. But while Hoosiers were on break, the rest of the world certainly was not. We've got a lot to talk about for this week's trending topics. So sticking with the topic of weather, we recently welcomed in spring, but it just does not feel that way on campus right now.
Absolutely not. Okay, so take a look at this picture right here, shot by an IU student on the first day of spring last week. The top one was taken at about 9 a.m., but get this, the bottom one just 4 hours later, taken at about 1 p.m., the same day.
Yeah, same day. That's absolutely crazy, but that's typical Indiana spring. And even in Indianapolis, the weather caused some issues. The cold weather even delayed testing for the new IndyCar chassis that you'll see at this summer's IndyCar Grand Prix and Indy 500.
Yes, that's right. Now, I was actually there on Friday at the Motor Speedway, and although the cold did push things back a bit, the show did go on. Some of the world's top drivers were there warming up the track for those races in May. Here's a little sneak peek of what those new models will look and sound like.
What a cool event to watch. Definitely a big week in Indiana for both weather and racing.
That's right.
Yeah, so moving right along on our list of what's trending, this one a little further from home involves a famous actress and activist who is taking a chance in the world of politics this time.
Yeah, that's right. So Cynthia Nixon, best known for her role as Miranda from Sex and the City, announced this week that she will challenge the New York City governor, Andrew Cuomo, in a Democratic primary.
Yeah, now Cynthia Nixon has been known for her work as a progressive activist, and she would be breaking some barriers if she wins this vote. Now, Nixon would be the first gay person and the first woman to be governor of New York.
Yeah, she's definitely breaking some barriers with this one, proving that she can be more, than just a Hollywood actress. We will definitely be watching to see what happens with this primary race.
Yep.
And be sure, to tweet us what you guys think at IUS TV.
Yeah. Now, in other news, this weekend marked yet another social justice demonstration that took the country by storm, the March for Our Lives.
Right, and led by young leaders all over the nation, protesters gathered in various cities to protest the NRA and rally for nationwide gun reform. Though the central protest was based in Washington, D.C., protesters voiced their opinions right here in Bloomington as well.
Yes, Bloomington high school students showed up to the downtown courthouse square in less than pleasant weather. Now I'm talking freezing rain, but the weather did not stop protesters, drawing a crowd of about 100 people.
And although the protests might be over, now activists say that the work has just begun. We will be sure to update you all on the gun reform debate as the conversation continues.
Yep, that's right. Now moving right along to some other local news. If you're looking for somewhere to eat with your friends this week, there are some special deals at several Bloomington restaurants. The Bloomington Independent Restaurant Association is in the midst of hosting its annual 2-week Devour B-Town event. 20 local restaurants are offering lower prices on certain menu items. The participating restaurants are hoping to draw in new customers with the deals. Several restaurants are even offering 3-course meals for 2 at reduced prices, including the Tap, Lenny's, and Opie Taylor's.
I think it benefits us because we're able to showcase some of our more popular choices, and it also gives a chance for people who may have not been to Opie Taylor's before to come in and kind of experience what we're all about.
Devour B-Town deals end this Sunday, April 1st. To check out the full list of restaurants participating and to view their Devour B-Town menus, visit devourbtown.org.
And speaking of food, vegan and vegetarian options are gaining popularity around the Bloomington area. Bloomington locals gathered at the Serendipity Martini Bar last week to support a large movement for One Indiana Sanctuary. Uplands Peak Sanctuary, located in Salem, Indiana, is a 20-acre refuge for both farm animals and people. The benefit held on Friday, including raffles, auctions, and a live artist, was to help the sanctuary in its next move to Freedom, Indiana, about 35 minutes outside of Bloomington. Their new 105-acre location not only offers more room to house more residents, but allows volunteers to connect with the animals and the nature that surrounds it.
We wanted to really start to connect with the people that are interested in the sanctuary face to face and let them know how they could get involved, meet us, hear our story.
All of the money raised from the benefit helps the founders pay off their current property as well as prepare them for the move incoming in July. To learn more about the Uplands Peak, visit their website at uplandspeaksanctuary.org.
Coming up after the break, we'll give you an update on this past weekend's Little 500 qualifications round.
And I'll talk with guests in studio from the IU Student Foundation. Stay with us.
And it's an honor to be here.
After suffering a season-ending injury in late March,
as you can see behind me.
This past weekend kicked off the start to one of IU's most beloved traditions, the annual Little 500 races. All registered and eligible teams competed Saturday to qualify and earn a spot to ride at the official races. Although the frigid rain, snow, and hail mixture made conditions exceptionally tough for race, and fans still showed up to show their Hoosier pride and cheer on the teams. Here's how quals works. All teams have 3 attempts to qualify. Their fastest 4-lap time is then selected and ranked among several others. The 33 fastest men's and women's teams will move forward. Let's take a look at this weekend's results. For the women's slot, Delta Gamma qualified first at 2 minutes and 51 seconds, setting the bar high for race day. And on the men's side, a close race, the Cutters qualifying first at 2 minutes and 24 seconds, securing the lead spot from the Kappa Sigma team by just under 1 minute. All qualifying teams will now move on to race for gold on April 20th and 21st at what's been dubbed the world's greatest college weekend. Now, Laura joins us in studio with some of the organizers behind the Little 500 competition activities. Laura?
Thanks, Alex. So I'm here today with members of the IUSF Steering Committee. I'm here with Kayla Murphy. We've got Megan Marks and Harvest Ham. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's talk a little bit about what the Steering Committee is. I don't really know, much about what goes into putting on events like Quals and Little 500. So tell me a little bit about the committee, what you guys do.
So basically, steering committee is a group of seniors who have previously gone through the gunning process, and that's in your spring semester of your junior year, and you basically it's like a semester-long tryout. You put on all the events, so all of our spring series events, quals, and also you set up for the race and you're working the race, and basically you get kind of evaluated on your work ethic and stuff like that, and then a select group of people are chosen to be on steering committee, and that's what we are on now.
Wow. So it seems like a lot of work and kind of energy goes into becoming a member of this committee. What is it like being a part of this? Why did you guys want to get involved in the first place?
So I think we all have like a little bit of a different reason for getting involved. We made a lot of new friends throughout this entire process. It's a great resume builder. You get to be in this huge alumni base of like amazing people that have been doing this for 69 years now this year, and it's just an incredible opportunity.
It seems like it. So when you're talking about, the history behind this, there is a lot of history, I guess. I mean, traditions in general, just with Little 500. Tell me a little bit about the history of not only the events, but, the alumni and members involved in putting on the event.
Yeah, so the first race was in 51, and that's or 1951, and that's when the first steering committee was as well. And ever since then, they just like love getting back in contact with us. And we go to networking events in Indianapolis and Chicago, and they love talking to us and love like reconnecting with us and trying to see what the new traditions are and what we've kind of came up with, and if some of the ones that they like started are still in place, and they all like are so excited to get to be able to talk to us and do whatever they can to help us with our either career or just like life in general, and they're very supportive to all of us. So.
It seems like people who are or just Hoosiers in general, when you're involved with something like Little 500, you're going to remember that when you even leave college. What does, as members of this committee and IU students, what does Little 500 mean to you guys? And then we'll talk, maybe a little bit more about the events, but just like on a general sense, what does it mean to you guys?
Little 500 to me, and I know for a lot of us, means it's really like grounding us to IU. It's making us feel like a community, making us feel like we're really a part of something so much bigger than ourselves. The fact that it's all student run and it is a philanthropic event makes it so much more rewarding than anything else I've ever been involved in college.
And I feel like a lot of people, when they think of Little 500, they think of the bikes and all of that, but they don't think of the philanthropy aspect of it. Let's talk a little bit about that. Where does this money go? What's being raised?
Right.
Definitely.
So this goes to a student emergency fund, and so these are crucial scholarships that go towards students that otherwise couldn't continue school without all of the scholarships from the IU Foundation and the IU Student Foundation from the Little 500.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's important to mention that, I think, too, because that gets lost in the mix. So Quals just happened this past weekend. I think everybody knows we have Little 500 coming up in a few weeks. How was Quals, first of all, and what did it, what went into putting this event on?
So Quals ran so smoothly, minus the weather. It was either at one point in time, it was like hailing, raining, sleeting, snowing. It was freezing cold, and all of our members who helped out that day did such an amazing job. They all had such positive attitudes. And the bikers, everyone's kind of in the same boat, like, yes, this weather sucks, but we're gonna do the best we can with it. And that was great to see. We stayed on schedule all day. Not a lot of teams faulted, so that was all really positive to see. And it overall was a really great day.
And what was it like for the bikers too? The teams that won, we had for the men's, the Cutters, for the women's, Delta Gamma. What was their reactions like?
I think for everyone, it was just incredible to be in that type of weather. We have coaches that have been coaching for over 20 years that have said they've never seen qualifications like that before.
Wow.
And so that definitely is a really great feeling for both Delta Gamma and the Cutters to know that they went against these types of conditions, even though it was dangerous at certain times. Everyone had to be super cautious throughout the day. So just the fact that they rode as hard as they could, as fast as they could, and still were able to do it safely is just like an incredible feeling for both of them, I know.
Yeah, props to them, because that is tough to go through.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For our last question, before we go, we have Little 500 coming up soon. This, for seniors, we're all seniors sitting here, is our last one. What goes into putting on Little 500 as a whole, and what are you guys maybe going to miss most about it when you leave?
I think I'm gonna miss most the people from the IU Student Foundation, the relationships we've made with just our 25 steering committee, but not only the alumni, the juniors, the sophomores, the freshmen, our 4 incredible staff members that work at the Student Foundation. That's what I'm gonna miss the most. So much goes into the race. Our steering committee is split up into 7 committees that we lead that do various amount of things: alumni affairs, marketing, philanthropy, freshman council, pre-race, Little 500 cycling committee, and there's so many more. So
You guys have a lot of work ahead of you.
yeah.
And our pre-race committee is the one who kind of sets up the race. The whole week before the race, we call it race week. Our gunners are there basically all night setting up whatever you see on the field that day. That's us setting that up. And it's incredible to, at the start of that week, to see it go from a soccer field into the Little 500 stadium. And I think that's incredible. And just to take like a step back from it and like look at it as a whole. And just, I remember last year after setting it up, just like, you just have this incredible feeling like I did this, and not a lot of people get to say that on IU's campus, which I think that's like very special and intimate, I think. So.
I agree. I mean, props to you guys, first of all, for putting this event on, because it takes a lot. And I think a lot of the times too, you know, you don't get as much credit because everyone's so in awe of the games. And so you guys really do deserve all the credit because you've put on so much work, and you will continue to do so in the coming up weeks. Thank you so much for coming in today, and shout out to them for doing all of their work and the rest of the committees. And yeah, looking forward to the race. Back to you, Alex.
Well, that's what's up this week. Make sure you guys tune in next time for all your local and entertainment news. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at IUSTV News, and follow us on Twitter at IUSTV. Laura and I are signing off. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.